Hi guys! Welcome to my first love letter here on YouTube. Though you might have seen my face before, maybe or maybe not. Totally fine if not. Kind of hoping you haven't actually, just because I'm on a bit of a fresh start, or I don't know. I'm just trying to try some new things. My butt itches right now. Sorry guys. I'm gonna take a seat. The chances of me itching throughout this little segment of me speaking might be reoccurring because I have a lot of bug bites, and I'm in this space where there are a lot of bugs because they're plants, plenty of them. So today's love letter is for those who feel like they keep going backwards, myself included a little bit there. This meaning of backwards can look like, starting a new job, moving back into your childhood home. Maybe you're going through a breakup or a friendship breakup. Maybe you're just completely lost with life right now, have no idea what direction you want to go in, where you want to be living, what job you want to do, what, career, or you just feel like everyone else is succeeding. My mom chooses to be watering the plants at the worst time. I hope you guys can't hear this. Sorry, I got slightly distracted. Also, guys, quick note, I'm very convinced I have ADHD, so I get distracted a lot, and I'm gonna do my very best to keep it going through this video. You get the idea. Anyone who's kind of just low-key in the dumps and also figuring out life, but also don't have no idea what that even means, and maybe you're at a point where you're just being kind of lazy and you're kind of content with that. Maybe you're burnt out. That's totally fine, because trust me, that is a lot of people out there right now. And I think we've gotten to this point because we've been so used to pushing ourselves to do better, to do more, to make all of our goals and dreams come true, to get good grades, to study. And now we've just reached this point where we're like, well, now I don't have something I need to do next. So what is it that is next? Or again, you're like me and you're moving back into your childhood home. Now, I will first want to say this, which is something I've been standing by so much lately, this piece, these just few words, that is, what if you are exactly where you are meant to be? Everything is about perspective in life, and as you grow older, I feel like perspective is the best thing to gain. It's the most peaceful way to go about living life. If you can take something negative that's happened, or, even an emotion, and see it from an outside perspective, or change the narrative of it and make it something a lot more positive, you probably could live the best life possible. Now, I say that because something else, a little other quote that I like to look at or live by is just, when people say, you get off on the wrong train stop, doesn't mean that there's not much to offer on that specific train stop. Maybe you find your new favorite cafe. Maybe you encounter a really friendly person who later in life becomes one of your really good friends. There could be so much to offer at that wrong train stop, and so much you've learned just from being there, that was it even a wrong train stop to begin with. Now I'm going to come a little forward here for dramatic effect and be really awkward, sorry. For example, let me give you a little bit of a perspective on my current life situation. That is where I am moving back into my childhood home, and I originally had this whole plan to not to move into a new apartment. Okay, let's level up, or what's next is going to be moving into a new apartment and doing all of these vlogs and doing all these things with that, or maybe I'll be traveling, who knows. And then I decided, let me just move back into my childhood home. Let's save some money, though sometimes people see this, moving back to your hometown as usually a negative thing, or not. There's just usually such a view on it, especially when you are going to be seeing people you went to high school with, or kind of going back to that life that you once had. And so we often see it as a step back, or is that the right choice? Are you going to be able to move forward after that? Or most people would just expect you out of college to get a job or be doing something big in life, and what's next? That's always the question. And so I don't know, suddenly I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna move into my house. And and a lot of times people kind of gave me oh yeah, yeah, that'll be good. but also a little bit of like, I don't know, just usually the response was like, oh, okay, like, I don't know, it just wasn't a more of a neutral response, and it usually wasn't something like, oh my gosh, like, that is so cool, that's so fun. There just came a time where I was like kind of content and excited, though of course I was very afraid of certain things, like, you know, living back at home. My house gets really messy, really cluttered easily. You know, if you're from a Filipino household, you kind of just know that we are collectors, but we are not people that get rid of things. We don't like to give away things for free just because, you know, we think we can sell them for something. And so, you know, we love swap meets. I grew up doing the swap meets with my family all the time. But yeah, so I was just really afraid of kind of being in this environment just because I tend to get really overstimulated, and when that happens, I rage, guys. Like I get really overstimulated. I don't know if it's anxiety, but I just get really stressed out. I literally have a physical reaction to when it goes on for like this long period of time. Again, I've, you know, convinced I have ADHD, so I just was worried that I would either feel really lazy or just be super overwhelmed, and I've already for sure had moments like that. But also I thought, I love being around my family, I love being with my sisters, I get to be the most myself around them. I feel like I become myself again. I have so many fun and like memories with them. I laugh, we just have so many inside jokes. And also, when will I ever maybe have a time to live under the same roof as my parents again? You know, later in life, there might be a time where I'm like, damn, I am actually never going to be living with my parents again. And there comes a point in life when that happens. Like, same way we think about the last day that we played outside again. Like, we never knew that day was going to come, and then it just comes. And so I'm thinking, like, how is this not actually a blessing, and also something to be incredibly thankful for? First of all, you know, because my parents are kindly letting me live again with them. I am really grateful for that, because not all kids kind of have that chance sometimes where they're let back into their house so like with open arms, you know. And so I'm thinking, like, I'm very grateful, like, to even have parents who are welcoming me back into this house and not charging me rent, though they might start soon. Valid, okay. And just, you know, getting to be under this house again with my family and my sisters. And, you know, of course there are other things, like every household has had a little bit of trauma and sadness happen, and sometimes you can carry that in a house. But I have always thought about how this house also has so many fun memories, and that a lot of times I would rather just spend time at my house. You know, when my boyfriend comes over, it's just like we would rather just be at home and hang out with my sisters and watch, you know, shows, Love Island and whatnot. And so I turned this entire view of going back home, or even how I was viewing it at first, into something that is so special, and like thinking about how grateful I should be and not how I am, you know. Because at the end of the day, like, this is a times that I will look back on and always cherish. And, you know, especially as my parents are getting older, I always look back on that. I'm like, damn, bro, like, it's really kind of sad. And especially the way time goes by so fast. It's like they're getting older, and, you know, who knows when, oh God, I don't even want to talk about it, but like, not to get emotional, but, you know, just when your parents start to get older, there's a feeling, and for those of you that know you have parents that are maybe in their 60s, 70s, it's just time feels like it's fleeting a bit. So we're going to sit back down now because I'm tired of standing. Now, that is a little bit of my perspective that I'm taking away from this whole experience. And again, it's hard sometimes, but I try, especially when it gets to me, I try to think about all of the little things that I do have to be grateful for, and what I will be grateful for in the future, and like really look back on. And so sometimes it's really all about painting maybe a negative picture into something so beautiful. And as cheesy as that sounds, I know that's really all life is about, because anything in life can be seen so terribly. A lot of horrible things happen in this life, and even just like what's happening in the world is so heartbreaking, and it's so sad that a lot of times that's maybe all we could think about, all the negative things. And it is totally important to acknowledge them and to talk about them, shed light on them. But in the moments where it totally consumes us, and this, also just refers to all the little things that are going on in our life, again, like losing a job or going through a breakup, which are really big things, those affect us significantly. I would know. In those moments, it's so hard to see any smidge of positivity in there. But there is. If you can find at least 1 to 2 things in your very moment, in this very current moment of your life right now, that are shedding this light, that are bringing the light in, that bring an instant smile on your face, maybe focus on them for a few moments, or think about them in the very morning instead of the very thing that completely ruins your day. Think about those in the morning, and maybe before you go to sleep. Especially us who are in a state where we don't know what we want to do at all as well. It's so confusing this time, where I feel like we all want to do everything but also want to do nothing, or because we want to do everything, it's so scary, like where to start, or we don't know where to start. And also so afraid of like trying something new and completely failing, which failure is not failure. Trying something and failing doesn't mean that you failed. It just means you tried. I've heard so many people say that. I'm like, damn, like that's a great way to look at it. And I just love how both my parents are literally just outside while I'm filming. Like, it's totally fine, but I get so distracted. And so anyone who is feeling just so lost in life, and like they've just taken this major step back emotionally and physically, know that maybe this is our time to appreciate the little things. Maybe it's our time to reconnect with families and focus on those important moments, the moments that we might never get back with maybe focus on the time with yourself. Maybe read a book. Maybe in this time you are recharging and you are getting re-inspired. And sometimes we do need to hit rock bottom to level ourselves up and to feel brand new. A lot of us who are kind of in the time where we don't know what we want to do. This is not personally me like attacking everyone, because I'm honestly really only speaking for myself. But I know that I am being a little bit lazy with it, and I'm being content with just watching Love Island. That shit is a little toxic, because I will watch that instead of doing the things I need to be doing. I mean, I can't be blaming Love Island. That's my choice to watch it, but you know what I mean. It's addicting. And so maybe instead of doing that or thinking about doing things, how about we actually do it? That was a little mean, but like, little harsh love right there, because this is my first attempt at starting this whole thing where I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to post this video. Well, hopefully I will, because I'm currently filming it. So hopefully I would have posted it. If you're seeing this now, then I did. That's awesome. Great. But me doing it is posting it and doing the whole thing of filming it and like being here. I mean, here's just getting like the process, at least in starting there. But just posting it is me doing the thing. We can tell ourselves like, oh, like sulk in the sadness and everything that's going on, and like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what I want to do with my life. We can keep saying that. That's only ever going to just make us feel like we still don't know what we're doing with our life, because the more we talk about it, the more it's going to become true. So instead, be like, I'm actually going to start a YouTube channel tomorrow. I am going to go apply at that school that I really like. I am going to attempt to learn how to crochet so that I can do the small business. I'm going to make a matcha today so that I can save the recipe. And for later, when I want to own this business, I have that recipe. Just even baby steps. We can do that. And so the doing is where we need to start. We need to stop saying and feeding into the negative thoughts and behaviors. Stop saying, everything's just going so wrong. Just basically adding on to every negative thought that we have and like bringing it out into existence, because once again, when we say those things out loud, it's all we want to focus on. And because of that, it's like that becomes our reality, which is so true, guys. Like, please let me tell you that the more you speak about negative things or anything that have like made you upset or mad, the more you talk about it, the more you let it affect you and your emotions. So even if you had a bad day, like, please just say, oh, it's okay. Like, say it with a smile, be like, it was a rough day, but I know tomorrow's gonna be better. Or, oh my gosh, like, I am gonna watch my favorite show today. And I know some guys, like, trust me, I know that it's so much easier said than done. Let me tell you, like, I don't want to be the type of person that is like, oh, I haven't gone through traumas or any sort of hardship. Like, I kind of have, not anything that's like major, but I've definitely kind of faced adversity in the sense that actually I don't know if that's the right word to use, but just life shit. Like, let me tell you, if you could know, you would know, but it's just stuff we don't talk about. And so in those moments where life was heartbreaking, where the world just went upside down, I don't know how somehow I just focus on some of the good things about it, or I try to still live life like, going to the cafe and enjoying a matcha, watching some of my really like comfort shows. I try not to focus so much about the negative. I actually didn't really talk about it too much when I'm really not thinking about what was going on then. I didn't talk about it too much to many people. And so because of that, maybe it didn't entirely become my reality. There was now let me reference something that had happened recently, and I was talking about it a lot because I was so angry about it, and like I just had to talk through it. Every time I was talking about it, there was like this feeling of anxiety and so much anger, and because of that, I would literally just think about it in the back of my mind throughout the rest of the day if I was like still kept talking about it. And then another instance too, like when it was brought up by someone, something had happened and like just something was a little brought up, an actual physical reaction of like feeling of anxiety came about, and I was like, fuck, like I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to see it. I don't want to like think about this anymore. I'm done talking about it, because the more I talk about it, the more I'm letting it affect my life. Even though it's already happened, it's done. It's like there's no point in talking about it anymore, because it's only eliciting a bad feeling. So when you maybe address the thing, the negative thought, the negative event once, twice, 3 times, if you need to keep talking about it, let's keep talking about it. Like, I'm never going to be the type of person that like stop talking about it. No, like we need to stop hearing about it. If you need to keep talking about it, like do whatever you can to get through it. But at one point, let yourself let it go. Like, let yourself start talking about life in a better light, and that things good can happen from it. There are things that can happen. Sorry, that's not the way I want to phrase it. That's not what I'm trying to say. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. This is the point where I start to blank out. Basically, the more we can paint life in the positive eye, is that the right saying? Wow, I'm just making up my own words here, guys. If it's coming out good, I'm very proud of myself. But anyway, that we can just even pretend life is okay, maybe, or even talk through our battles, but also remember the good things and enjoy the moments that are like special, and don't even let those thoughts be in the back of your mind. Just like really try to be in the moment. Maybe then things will start to look differently in our eyes. Our perspective will change, and though maybe we are going through this really shitty event or we are going backwards, it's not really seen that way. We're not seeing it that way. Instead, we're seeing it as a step forwards. She's watering the fake grass. What's going on? All right, guys. Well, I think that was enough for my first little love letter. I hope that you guys took something from that. I don't even know what I was saying. I just kind of rambled on, and I hope it was enough. Sometimes I think I need to say more, but sometimes it's just like, just leave it at that. That was good, So hopefully you got the message of it, which was to just see things in a different perspective. Maybe your step backwards is really a major step forward. With that being said, I'm going to stop itching myself, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next love letter. Bye, guys. Audio out. Beep, beep.